Hello and welcome to Diecast Restos. I'm Jason and this is a Husky NSU Ro80. These models were in the Husky lineup for some time between 1967 and 1969. The real car was introduced in the former, while the Husky range was renamed to Corgi Juniors in the latter. The Husky models all had metallic blue painted bodies and bases, a chrome plated interior and chrome wheel hubs. Later, Corgi Juniors versions were painted purple, pink or bronze with black bonnets. This is how a real NSU Ro80 looks in a colour very similar to the casting. The technologically advanced Ro80 was introduced in 1967, powered by a 995cc twin-rotor Wankel Rotary engine. This drove the front wheels and produced 113 brake horsepower. It had a semi-automatic gearbox and a vacuum-operated clutch system. It also featured disc brakes all round, uncommon on anything but high-end luxury or sports cars at the time. With features like this, its all-round independent suspension and its power-assisted rack and pinion steering, it foreshadowed a great number of designs that we are familiar with today. That vacuum clutch meant there was no clutch pedal. Instead, touching the gear knob operated an electric switch to disengage the clutch. The car was styled by Klaus Luther, head of design at NSU and later BMW. He also designed the Volkswagen K70. I restored a model majorette version of that car, and in the video I talk about the history of NSU, as it was originally an NSU vehicle. Luther designed the Ro80 with a large glass area with a very low drag coefficient for the era. During the first full year of production in 1968, 5,986 Ro80s were built, increasing to 7,811 in 1969 and 7,200 in 1970. Following the company's merger with Auto Union to form Audi, production dipped to 3,000 to 4,000 units per year. This was due to the high fuel consumption of the Rotary engine and the fuel crises of the time. Production dropped to below 2,000 per year between 1974 and 1976. In total, 37,398 cars were made, with production ceased after 10 years. The relative success of the Audi-branded 100 sealed the Ro80's fate and that of the NSU brand, as parent company Volkswagen phased it out in favour of Audi. During its 10 years of production, it had remained mostly unchanged, with the resources spent on improving the reliability of the Rotary engine. The three rotor tips were easily damaged at high engine speeds, with a main feature of the engine its willingness to rev quickly and quietly. While all Ro80s came with a rev counter, all cars after 1971 were equipped with an acoustic signal that warned the driver when the engine was rotating too fast. Visually, the rectangular headlights were replaced with twin halogen lamps in 1969, and air extraction vents appeared behind the doors on the C-pillars. In August 1970, the metal grille was replaced with a plastic one. A small facelift in 1975 saw the final Ro80s receive enlarged tail lights and rubber inserts in the bumpers. It also had the rear registration plate position moved from below to above the bumper, meaning the boot lid lock had to be repositioned to the lip of the lid. Now, as much as the Ro80 was renowned for its technical innovations, it was equally known for its unreliability. Some cars were in need of an engine rebuild in as little as 50,000 kilometres, 31,000 miles. Problems would begin to show as early as 24,000 kilometres or 15,000 miles. The aforementioned rotor tips would additionally cause wear on cold starts, while worn centerpieces caused the other parts to move, allowing the combustion products to escape the seals. A titanium carbide centerpiece resolved these problems. Adding to the issues were the dealer network's lack of knowledge of Wankel rotary engines. The reliability issues were all but resolved by 1970, but despite a generous warranty, the brand's reputation remained poor. Again, I cover the demise of NSU in the Volkswagen K70 video, so do go and check that out if you'd like to know more. I'll leave the link in the video description. As for the Corgi versions of this casting, to go along with the brightly coloured bodies, each had tinted glass. The pink and purple cars had blue tinted transparencies, while the bronze models were orange tinted. These mostly came with 5-spoke whiz wheels with or without the silver foil on them. I've also seen white Corgi Ro80s, though these also have the black bonnet. I'm sure there are more variations, but I can't find a definitive list. Anyway, I'm now putting my Husky model back together. The bonnet has been a bit troublesome throughout this build, but it is now finally in place. Also, with the rivet post too narrow to tap, I've left the end just wide enough for the base to securely push over it to secure it all together. Now here was my Husky NSU Ro80 as it appeared earlier. These models in Husky spec are a little hard to come by, and my example wasn't in bad condition either. It was a bit paint thinned, while the plastic piece was in need of further chrome plating. The transparency was needing some attention too, as it was a bit dirty and cloudy. On top of that, the chrome plated hubs were a bit scratched. So let's now take a look at the new NSU. The clear blue Tamiya is a bit more vibrant than the slightly dulled original paintwork, but I like to think this is how it looked when it was ripped out of its packaging for the first time back in the late 60s. It's amazing to think that this vehicle was a product of the mid-1960s. It was so ahead of its time, with features that are still commonplace today. I'm pleased with how the chrome plated pieces have been revitalised with the Molotow chrome treatment. And that window piece is much clearer following a polishing. Let me know what you think of this really interesting model by leaving a comment. Leave a like if you enjoyed the story, result, or both. And do subscribe for more automotive tales and restorations or customs to go with them. And if you want to, please help support the channel through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Any pledges are greatly appreciated. But all that leaves me to say is thanks for watching, and I'll see you again for the next one. Bye for now.